been noticing something interesting happening in my energy that I would like to make a note of and maybe share it with people who are possibly experiencing it or maybe have thoughts to share on it. I've been confusing is not the word for it, but living, more likely, is the word for it in the future. And I don't know if it's because I'm connecting with people's energies and jumping into the future for them to help guide them, or if it's because I've been focusing my energy on my future so much that I started to bring the future in the present moment. And then I go back to the present moment confused because I am fucking sure that something has happened before it happened. Now I understand fully and completely that time is an illusion. Time is something that we agree upon. Time is only valid on this plane so that we can separate and isolate events and comprehend these time zones and time restricted events to each other, to ourselves as a human being, as a physical form. When you go anywhere beyond the physical, there is no time. Therefore, the past and the present and the future are all one. Now, I understand that concept very well, that I have indeed jumped lifetimes. And maybe it's not relating time specifically, but I've done so much work in a small period of time that made me realize that time is just a play. It's a game. If you know how to play it, you end up mastering it or making time work for yourself. For example, I have days where I slow time to work for me, and other days I fasten time to work for me. Now, I'm not saying that I change the time on the clock that we share collectively. I can slow the energy of time in my space, if that makes sense. In my space. So I can experience time that we all experience in a slower pace or a faster pace. And I've been doing that for years and years and years. And I used to do it subconsciously, but especially when I understood it and brought my awareness to it, I started doing it deliberately. Now, that said, I have been experiencing events from the future that didn't happen, and then they happen in the time that we collectively share. Now, the reason why I decided to make this voice note is because it just happened again. I was on my phone and I looked at the time, the clock, the time on the phone, and it was 111. Now, I'm used to that, I see 111 synchronicities everywhere, and it's not just relating time. So I make a mental note of that, obviously, because I like to pay attention to when and where and how I get the synchronicities to make sense of them. So I am on my phone after I've seen 111, and I go mindlessly watching or scrolling through one of the social medias, and sometime after that I look at the time again, and it's 1. It's not 111. It's not any time past 111. It's 1. Now, I don't know if I have seen the future or if time has gone back from 111 a.m. to 1 a.m. on the dot 1 a.m. And I was like, wait a second, like a while ago, I've seen 111. How is it now 1? It just made me stop and think. Because before this awareness to the experience that I've just shared, there is something else that happened a few days ago as well. And I said to myself, I'm going to keep an eye on this. I'm going to keep my awareness open towards making sense of this pattern that I'm experiencing. So, if there is a pattern at all. And then this happens today, which makes me want to record this, to try to make sense of it. First and foremost for myself, but maybe to share it with people that are experiencing the same. And hear what they have to say about that. Now, the thing that happened a few days ago, and I made a mental note of it, is I order things online and sometimes they arrive, sometimes they take longer. I don't keep, I don't track the things that I order sometimes, and I just wait for them to get delivered and then I know it's here and blah, blah, blah. But the point is, I receive one of the packages and I unpack it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the thing that I ordered. And then that's it. You know, you don't think of it that much. And then maybe half of the day passed. And I remember I wanted to check something about the product that I unpacked today. And I look for that thing that I've ordered and unpacked for like 10-15 minutes around the house. I've got a small place, so it doesn't take long to go through a 1-bed flat. And the product that I've ordered and unpacked is not in my place. And then I got hit by some realization of, wait a second, it did not arrive, did it? It did not arrive. But you know the small details of an experience. You remember everything, like the package, the unpacking, the sound, your sensory is involved. So it's not as if I've imagined it. You know, like it didn't just appear in my hand or a dream of it. It was the whole process of unpacking, receiving, unpacking, holding the product in your hand and inspecting it and putting it on the side. The whole process of that gets imprinted in your brain as if like you are living reality, as if this moment of reality. And then my intuition kicks in and says, it didn't arrive yet. You just experienced it before it happened. And I stood in the middle of the living room just thinking to myself, okay, can I trace my steps back before I opened the package? And I couldn't. It was an experience that appeared in my brain or in my vision or in my sensory, physical sensory, but it did not happen yet. And so I, make myself forget about the whole thing. But I did make a mental note of it, of course, because I wanted to see if there will be a pattern. And so I forget about that. A few days later, I actually receive the actual package. Same package, same unpacking, same product. And I experienced it again. I experienced the same thing again. So it's like the product that I bought is not an important thing. It's just a cream, okay, that I've bought, and it's not something that I was looking forward to, or something that I was anticipating and waiting in agony to get. So it's something that is very ordinary that I experienced twice. And that just made me think that I've possibly tapped into a skill or a way or a method of getting into seeing. And I'm not talking about, sitting in meditative state to to go into the realm of nothingness and find find everything, basically. I'm talking about ordinary shit. I'm talking about the future appearing in my present moment when it's not intended or it's not intentionally set. Like, I haven't put any intention towards seeing that product before it actually arrives, and I haven't decided or wanted to know how that felt unpacking a product that I bought online. You see what I mean? So there is a difference between you sitting and intentionally trying to access your future than to not try to. And lately it's been the future and the present moment is merging, and it's getting physical. And I don't know if there is a fucking glitch that maybe I am becoming aware of that is happening collectively, but the mind could dismiss that glitch from happening because, we would rather say we are crazy than say the world has gone crazy, or the mechanics or the dynamic of the world is gone crazy. See what I mean? So the mind will actually try to dismiss something if there was an actual glitch that is happening in the physical simulation. It was all very interesting, and it's something that I've been noticing more and more. And I actually said to myself, I'm gonna have to master this. Otherwise, I will get lost between the moment that we collectively share and the future that I possibly could be living in. Or manifesting. Or thinking about. Or whatever it is. Because it's made me think that I need to be careful accessing the future, seeing into the future, because I could lose touch with this reality, because even a reality of any individual, I believe, is a valid reality. So that's why I don't like to call people crazy, or that's why I don't like to label mental issues or health or mental health problems as labels, because one's reality is as valid as your reality, your individual reality, and the individual reality is just part of the collective reality. But there is agreement and disagreement on which reality is valid, and that's where we collectively go wrong about. Yeah, just wanted to share that. I will be keeping an eye, and if there are any updates, I will let you know. But I would be curious about hearing your thoughts and possibly your experiences or similar experiences that you've gone through that are of that nature.